Hi everybody, it's me, Gilly. It's another update video because it's been a while since my last update. I think the last one I did was after my last scan, which was at the start, yeah, a month ago, at the beginning of the first week of January. Very stressful event that day. Only really quite recovered from the stress of that. As even though it was a good result, there is this scar tissue, next to my brain tumor cavity that is a little bit worrying, and it needs to, it has to be watched basically. Um, so that is something, on my mind still. But um, at the same time, the last few weeks, I've really been in this stage of transition between, being kind of obsessed about, everything I'm doing to prevent a recurrence, that it's kind of overtaken my life, to be honest, and been causing me a bit too much stress than it should. I've just now passed the 6 month chemotherapy mark, so, chemotherapy and all my cancer treatment finished more than 6 months ago now, so that's a really big landmark. My operation to remove the cancer was November 2015, so I'm not even saying, it all happened last year anymore, so that's a big change. So I'm starting off this year with, quite a lot of positivity and trying to change my mindset a little bit to think less about myself as a cancer patient and more as Gilly, who I am and have always been, and that's generally a very fun-loving person. And I've really put that side of my life on hold whilst I changed everything, because I really believe that all cancer patients, once diagnosed, really need to make a radical change in their lifestyles in order, as the first step anyway. It's really important that the massive change is done immediately. And I'm kind of, a year past that now. And so the question on my mind for the last few weeks has been like, okay, well, what next? I've been doing this for over a year now, thinking about everything I'm eating. I changed to being macrobiotic, which was great. Very, very time consuming, but I've given it my whole, I gave it my all, learning how to cook that way, eating that way, trying to think that way, believing in it. And I still think for a lot of cancer patients that is the way to go. However, I am going back on myself now and going back to kind of what I was doing after my operation, which just for me personally makes more sense. Providing my body with what nutrients it really needs according to data collected from tests, functional medicine tests that I've done, that I've taken for myself to gain better knowledge of what is particularly wrong with my individual body. I don't believe that there's one cancer treatment for all patients, and I really advise anyone who's sick, not even just with cancer, but to find out individually what is wrong with your body and what is not functioning optimally. And the goal should be to erase any kind of malfunctioning pathway in your body. And I'm so grateful that now I'm learning so much on this course I'm on to learn what are those pathways. And I'm learning all the terminology, and so all the podcasts I listen to and all the books I read now, and that I've been reading for the last few years, so much more is making sense now, and it's really fulfilling. So I'm really happy about, the way my life has changed despite the cancer diagnosis. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. Also, I wanted to start a series of videos talking more about each of the different things I've taken in for my daily life and routine, because I really want to help future, cancer patients get through the treatment with minimal suffering, just like I managed to. So this video is really about the first step, which is juicing, which I think was the first thing that I started doing. Even before I was diagnosed, I always tried to juice as much as possible, but it would come in stages and I wouldn't be consistent with it. I'd be on a health drive for a few months and then not do it for a few months. And you really have to be consistent about it, and I really have been consistent with juicing since being diagnosed, which I'm quite proud about. So I just wanted to answer a few questions about that, like why should one juice each day? I think it's very important to get your nutrients into your body, so antioxidants and all the nutrients from vegetables. Everybody knows how you're supposed to get 5 portions of vegetables into your diet daily, and for some people that's just really hard. We all have jobs, and there's not enough hours in the day to get so many forms of vegetable and fruit into your body. And juicing gets a lot of my vegetable portions out of the way, and I can just drink it, and then I can concentrate, and then I can eat, still eat vegetables during the day, but that's just adding more and more on top of the vegetables I'm getting in the juice form. So I like to juice because I'm not such a big fan of the pulp in juice, so I like it that it's smooth. A lot of people criticize juicing because they think it's too much for the body to take, but I think the main thing about that is because people put fruit in their juices, and so there's a lot of sugar in it, and so that can cause massive sugar spikes, which is not good, obviously. And so my juices have only vegetables in them. The sweetest thing in there is carrots and beetroot and lemon, and that honestly makes it sweet enough. I really advise you to try it. So what am I putting in my morning juice? So carrot, beetroot, cucumber, celery, garlic, clove of garlic, big piece of ginger, and a lemon. And I used to juice kale and parsley in there as well, but what I'm doing now is, because I read some other cancer survivor's blog, and he was talking about juicing, and he was saying, it's such a shame to juice the leafy greens. So he likes to put those in the blender with the juice, rather than losing a lot of the goodness from the leaves by juicing them. So I've started having 1 glass of juice without green leaves in it, and then putting the second glass into the blender, and then putting the parsley and the kale in the blender, and then that makes it into a smoothie. And then at the same time I'm adding a dollop of coconut oil in there for healthy fats, half an avocado for healthy fats. What else do I put in there? I have some walnuts, then I spoon some black sesame in there, which is supposed to help my hair grow, my normal color. You see my hair's growing back now, which is pretty cool. It's still a little white, you can't really see in this video, but it's a bit white and lighter colored on this side where the high dose radiation was. So put lots of crushed black sesame in the smoothie, some turmeric powder. I ground up some flax seeds, so I put that in there. Then I put a spoonful of flaxseed oil in there as well. And then whiz it up, and then that's a really nutritious smoothie, plus getting the kale and the parsley in there and not losing anything from juicing them. So I've started doing that, which is I quite like. Does it all have to be organic? Some people ask me. And personally, I think if you are suffering from a chronic illness or not feeling, 100% all the time, then I would recommend trying to go as as organic as you can. Obviously, it is more expensive, so I'd suggest just go, do as much as you can financially. Um, Anything is better than nothing. There is also, if you Google the Dirty Dozen, it shows you which vegetables are better to eat organic and which ones, are fine to not, really eat organic. One thing I do eat every day is berries, and because the skin on those fruits is so thin, if they get sprayed with any pesticides, then that's going straight into the fruit. So those kind of fruits that don't have a thick skin, like bananas, for example, it's better to stick with organic for the really thin skinned fruit. But then again, better to get the vegetables and the fruit inside you rather than not, and don't waste time just worrying, is it organic or is it not organic? Doesn't matter if it's juiced or in a smoothie. I think I've already talked about this a little bit. But again, a bit like the organic thing, just, whatever you prefer, just get the greens into you. If you like the pulp, have a smoothie. If you like juice and you like it smooth, then have a juice. Just try not to put too much fruit in it. And that's all I would say about that, really. I wanted to read a quote from a book I'm reading at the moment, which is called How to Thrive After Cancer. There's a nice quote which goes, "The goal of living a cancer preventative lifestyle is to minimize those habits and influences that impede health, and instead to emphasize those things that support strong and consistent healthy internal pathways. This maximizes the quality of your life while removing strain and stress." So that, really resonates with me about, taking all the unhealthy things that I used to do out of my life. My friends will know from, knowing me for such a long time, but, a lot of you that watch these videos won't know that, I was not a healthy person in my 20s. I had a lot of fun, a lot of fun, but I was not a healthy person. I was a chain smoker. I did a lot of fad dieting. I was trying every diet here and there and everywhere, not being consistent really with anything. Definitely not getting enough nutrients into my system. I did like drinking binges where I wouldn't be a daily drinker, but then, a weekend, and then I would just go all out and then suffer horrifically for a few days with a dreadful hangover. So, now my goal is, really removing all of those, and I've already achieved that, no more alcohol. I can't even remember the last time I had a drink. And, no more smoking, obviously. And, so removing all those things that, causes stress on my body, and then implementing all these healthy things like the juicing, which is what I've talked about today. The next videos I'm going to talk about the other things I do on a daily basis, which are coffee enemas for one, which grosses out a lot of people, which is why I want to do a proper video on them, because there's no reason for anyone to be grossed out about them. They're not messy at all. You just need to watch a video so you know what you're doing when you try it. I want to talk about the types of exercise and activities I do, which help me with stress relief, as well as increasing circulation, which is very important for cancer patients especially, but also just for people in general. I also want to talk about, what else do I do? But anyway, I'm going to concentrate each video on a different thing. So over the course of the next few weeks, I'm going to be doing those. My next scan isn't until the end of May, so I've got quite a long time to relax, which is quite nice, and kind of get back to, me again. What else did I want to say? Yeah, so that's really it for today. Sorry, it's been quite a long video. The next ones I'm going to try and do a bit more organized. But wishing everyone a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye.